Okay, good evening, everybody. It's My name's Steve, and we're here to do the affiliate training. Also with me is my wife Sandra, who you'll be hearing from in a very short period of time. We've had no end of problems getting this link, so don't be surprised if we have some technical hiccups, but hopefully not. Um, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the agenda, which was on the affiliate page, and throughout this presentation, if you have any questions, if you could send that question to me on Facebook message, and then we'll go through them at the end, one at a time. So if I can hand over to Sandra, who's going to talk about creating a catchy advert. Over to you, Sandra.
Evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. Hope everyone can hear me all right tonight. We're having a few problems, but just going to talk to you briefly about a catchy advert. That's the best thing really to attract someone's attention to what you want. Short and sweet. My personal opinion is don't make it too drawn out because people won't want to read it. They'll get bored and move on to the next ad. I've got a couple of catchy ads that we use. So if I can just share my screen with you, if you can tell me, Steve, if you can see them okay. See if this... technical hitch again, not responding. Just bear with me 1 second. Can you see my screen okay, Steve?
Not the shared screen, no.
You've got the shared screen, yeah?
No, nothing.
Yeah, hang on a second, it's just... Oh. Right, it doesn't seem to want to play tonight, so can you see my screen yet, Steve?
No. Yes, it's starting to appear.
Yeah.
It came and went.
Right, if you can see that, hopefully you can. There's a couple of little short, snappy ads that we use. We alternate them between, I think we've got maybe 4 or 5 that we use ourselves, but as you can see, 4 or 5 lines is adequate just to draw in the person's attention. Let them know how much it's going to cost, let them know what their average earnings is, but make it personal to yours. Don't say that you can earn £4,000 or £5,000 a month, because you've got to prove that that's what you're earning. Don't be afraid to mention DSD on it. As you can see, it's mentioned twice on there, because people are going to come up with it's a scam, what is this? If they know what it's called, then they can do some research themselves. We also, when we do this, we put them on the Facebook pages, which Steve's going to go through with you shortly. That's the only place we seem to advertise. We've tried advertising elsewhere, in shops and on Gumtree and any other of the free ads, but we don't get half as much response as we get from through Facebook pages. Once this goes out, you've got on there a few places of how people can make contact with you, whether they add you as a friend, send you a message, or comment below your ad. If they send you a message, that's great, just respond to it. If they add you as a friend, as soon as I accept them, I send them my reply, which I'll show you in a minute. And also, if they comment below, again, send them the message, but also go back onto the ad and tell them that you've sent them a message, and tell them to check through their others folder. And I think Steve will probably be the best one to show you where that is, just in case my computer decides to play silly devils with me. Once these are the ads, you know, we're happy to share them, but do sort of tweak them to what works best for you. The very top one there, do you know how we turned the £14 into 1,500? That was the first one I started with, and I just sat and that just came into my head, and we've added and increased and changed and swapped. Sometimes we use pictures with it. I don't know if any of you have seen the ones where I've got a few pictures added on there. We did go through a phase where we asked people to like the comments, and then we'd send them some info. And I know Steve does send the info across to people if they like it. I don't get that many likes now, so nobody likes me, so I'll just let him have that. And also, when you're thinking about your ad, think about what drew you to, what ad it was and what the wording was that drew you to respond to the ads that have got you into DSD. And just work on them, tweak them. Let us have a look at them before you put them out live if you want to, you know, so we can help you. That's what we're here for. With the response, if I can get it all in one, that okay, Steve, can you see that all right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Obviously, the first bit, thank them for the interest, because that gives it a little bit of a personal touch. They don't just think it's a computer responding. Tell them what it is you do. Tell them how long you've been doing it. Let them know what they're going to get for their money. I need to change this. I've just realised it's got £12.30, but I'll amend that later. Explain what dropshipping is, but don't go into too much detail, because if you give too much away, then they're not going to pay the fees and they're going to go off and do it by themselves. Tell them it's not get rich quick. As you can see, I've highlighted that, but it doesn't normally come out highlighted when you send them a message. If you have got a team, just let them know how many you've got if you want to. It's not a, you know, this isn't a you must do it this way. This is just giving you some ideas. I think, as you can see, we've got two on the bottom of ours. One is Kevin's, the UK one, and the top one is Roger's, that we first joined DSD. So they've got two to look at. Don't know much more to say, but adapt them to yourselves. Let us have a look if you want to. You know, we are your sisters, and we're happy to have a look over anything at all that you want. I think, is that okay with you, Steve, now for you to share on?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take over if you want.
Try and sharing my screen if it works. What's happening? You want to take over, Steve, and I'll try and
Okay. Right. Let me screen share mine. If you can let me just confirm, Sandra, you can see it.
I can't see anything yet. You click on yourself, Steve, because it's showing me still.
No, we're having technical problems. Okay, can you see that now?
Right, I've got you, but I've not got your screen.
All right, take it off. Okay, forget about the technology.
That's it, I've got you on camera.
Okay, forget about the technology now. Where do you post your advert is one of the things that Sandra's already covered, really. But basically, we do it through Facebook. We join every jobs type group there is, and trust me, there's loads. We also join the sales groups, so they are the ones that have got items for sale. And the reason we join them is that if people are interested in selling items, be it stuff from their home or whatever, they may well be interested in DSD. So we join them as well. Now, at this point, I was going to show you how to avoid Facebook jail when it comes to listing loads of adverts on all these groups. But basically, you can use automation if you want. I'm not a great fan of them. I think it's very impersonal, and that's just a personal view. But loads of people do use autoresponders and whatever, and that's fine. All I can say is that we don't use them, and we have success in recruiting. So what we do is, having got all the groups, we put them up in groups of about 10 on tags on the top of the screen, and then you start listing, but you would list on alternate tags. And apparently, from what I gathered when I found out this little trick, is that Facebook does not latch on very quickly that you are mass producing adverts, because you are going alternately along your groups, if that makes sense. If you were to tag, say, 10 groups on your page, and you went across from left to right one at a time, Facebook would almost certainly recognize straight away that you are mass producing adverts. If you put the 10 tags of the 10 different groups up there, and you go alternately across from left to right, and then alternately from right to left until you've completed all 10, it will not pick it up. And then you put the next 10 up and do the same, and the next 10, and so on and so on. We've got, I mean, Sandra will put me right, but I mean, she's got more groups on her Facebook than I have, but I think I must have about 50 or 60. I'm sure Sandra's is pushing over 100. And they're worldwide. Most are in the UK, but we do promote abroad as well, in Europe, in America, South America, all over the place. Sometimes these groups aren't obvious as to where they're based, so it's pot luck as to where you're actually promoting. But DSD is a worldwide organisation and a worldwide scheme, so it doesn't really matter where you are promoting as long as you're getting the message out there. So if I hand back to Sandra, who's going to talk about how honest should you be when it comes to doing these ads or talking to the people.
Oh. Right, okay, it's me back again now. Yeah, honesty, best policy. Don't cover anything, because that's why I changed my ad the other night, because one of our group, Mark, thank you, told me that the exchange rate is now sort of over the £13 mark a month. So that's why I've changed ours now to say £14. So they are getting the figures that we earn. Yes, that is what we are getting. if it goes up, I increase it. If it goes down, we take it down. And length of time that you've been with them, tell them that you have been with them 1 week, 3 weeks, 6 months, 12 months, so they know that you're happy with what you can do and you are earning money with it. Because if you say, oh, in 6 months I've earned 20,000, but you can show, because you can get all your bits from eBay to prove it, but don't give too much away, just the little bits and pieces of.
You know, casting up on the screen.
Because obviously I've shown. Can you hear me now, Steve?
I can hear you, but you're not on the screen. Have you
Well, the
pressed?
camera's on.
Yeah, I know. I can see the small
Yeah.
square, but you're not main screen. Okay. Go.
Okay. So did you get all what I said just now, Steve? So I don't want to repeat myself if they've already heard it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Right, policy. That's basically the main thing. Just be honest, because if you start bragging, you've seen the adverts with flashy cars, holiday homes here, there, and everywhere. Yes, there might be somebody out there, but if you haven't got it, brag about it. What else you want me to cover on here? Oh, you're going to advertise on the Facebook wall, but yeah, just be honest. If you're concerned, then just ask us if you think that's right or wrong for us to. So, and hand you back to Stephen on your.
Okay. I'm not sure how much of that you got, Sandra, because I'm also watching the screen that you see, and I've noticed that she's only appeared about halfway through that conversation. But basically, just quickly recapping, it is best to be honest with your information, because people will see through you straight away. You've only got to look at some of these ridiculous claims and adverts that are on the groups that you're advertising on. If they don't wash with you, then imagine if you were putting out similar adverts, because they won't believe you either. So be honest, and you'll get the results if you do. The other thing is, one of the questions that was sent to us was, should I advertise on my own Facebook wall? Well, we don't, but every now and again we will put little bits of information on, like people that have joined. Excuse me. I always put a welcome on my own Facebook page, mainly because if people have been interested in DSD, the chances are I would have friended them so they can have a look around my page. And when they see that people are signing up on a daily basis, then it's all good publicity. So, so yes, I do advertise in a subtle way, and that is welcoming newbies to the to Facebook. And if I do friend anybody that's shown an interest, then once a month I'll go through those friends, and if they've not followed up the information that I've given them or shown no interest, then I take them off as friends, just so they don't clog the system, really. One of the other questions was, how much chasing should we do? I've heard some stories and concerns that people are spending hours communicating with people, and then of course these people don't sign up. We don't do that. As Sandra's already pointed out, we put the quick advert out, the individual responds, we send out the information, and then if they've got questions, they will ask us direct through Facebook. Sometimes they want phone calls, and we'll have a chat with them. But do we spend hours doing all this? No. We probably spend, the most of the time, the time is taken up the actual advertising, not the actual communicating with the interested party. And I don't think there's a need. If they're interested, they will ask you questions. When they ask you questions, obviously answer them. And you'll get a feel whether those individuals are interested or not. Also be aware of where they come from. If they come from a part of the world where it is not practical to do DSD, then don't engage in long conversations with them, because it's a waste of their time and a waste of yours. So my advice would be, as I say, put the advert out. When you get the response, send out the information that they require, and then sit back and wait. I tend to leave it a day, sometimes if I'm bored, a few hours, and I will then contact them and just say, are you interested? If you get a response, then you respond to whatever that response is. If you don't get a response, there's your answer. So, you know, that's the sort of thing that you need to do, but certainly don't engage in hours, and don't make a habit of phoning everybody that shows the slightest bit of interest, because it will increase your phone bill, but you'll be on the phone for ages. But we tend to be on the phone for about 15-20 minutes when we talk to somebody, and out of, if I was to put a figure on it, out of every 10 people that show an interest, only one would we phone at their request. We don't offer it, but if the conversation is going well, then they may say, you know, they may ask questions, and we may, I'm going to contradict myself now, but we may say it might be easier if we have a chat on the phone, in which case do it. But don't do it as a matter of course, because I say it's a waste of your time. One of the other questions, how much chasing should we do? Personal choice, really. As I said just now, we chase only those that have received all the information, and we only chase once. And that is, you know, a quick message via Facebook, are you interested? And say if you get a response, that's good, unless they're not interested, of course, but either way, you can close the door on that. And if you don't get a response, well, like I said before, that is your answer, so move on. Always remember as well, when Sandra touched on it as well, that when you send the advert out and you then send the follow-up information, you are sending it to their others file, unless they are a friend. Now, a lot of people, including us, didn't even know the existence of this others file, but it basically is in your messages. So if you go on your home page and then go to the left-hand side at the top, there's messages. If you press that, you've got your normal messages, and then you've got other. So when we send a follow-up information, I always contact them back via the Facebook group that they contacted us from, and say that we have sent them the message to their others Facebook file. So that means that they can then look for it. If they come back to you and say, I can't find it, then send a friend request, or ask them to friend you, and then you can do it in the more the normal way of a personal message. But nearly all our messages initially go to their others file, but you need to know where that is. And if they're using a phone, my understanding is they won't find it. or is not as easy to get to. So again, be aware of that. And finally, somebody sent a message saying, I'm spending literally hours talking to people. Is there any advice for closing the deal? Well, A, don't talk for hours, because if I don't believe it. Sandra, can
You're
you
still
take
going live. I don't know if you can hear me, but I think Steve's got a few problems with his. But yeah, do you spend hours talking to people? No. When I do mine of an evening when I get in from work, and I send all my messages out and I get my responses back, and may get some in the evenings. It really depends on sometimes the day of the week, if you would believe it. My first lot went out on a Sunday and I responded on Wednesday and got nothing. So, but spending hours, no. Just do one contact, chase up if they've read the message, because obviously you'll know if they've read it. If they haven't read it, then just don't bother. Just don't even bother chasing them, because they will come back to you. I've had that happen. I sent a message to somebody last year. They said they'll have a look into it and get back to me. Fine. I let them get back to me, let them do the research, and they did come back to me and they did sign up, which was great. We've had people that don't do any research, sign up, and within half an hour they go. We try to encourage them, but if they're not interested, then are you back with us, Steve, or have you still gone locked out?
I think I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, do you want me to take over?
Yeah, if you want to, if there's anything else you want, I think I've covered, about talking to people and chasing up if need be. And people will come back to you if they want the information, any further info.
Okay, I've had a couple of questions from Mark. I'll get the insulting one out of the way first. He wants to know who's done my hair, who's cut my hair, and he said he'll sort them out for you. Sandra, would you like to tell him who cut my hair?
I do, Mark, so if you're not careful, you'll get the same treatment.
So there, very brave man is Mark, very brave. The other thing he's asked is that sometimes you don't get through because their settings won't allow the link. So he sends the information via email. He asks for their email details and sends it via email. Very good idea. We've had to do that on a couple of occasions, and it's another alternative. You can also Skype them if you want. I think I've only ever Skyped one person with regards to recruiting, but it's another option. So yeah, that's it. So unless there's any other questions, Mark's busy typing. Oh no, he's apologised now. Hey, what a wimp. He's obviously scared of my wife. Mind you, I'm scared of my wife as well. But I think we've covered just about everything. I'll just ask Sandra if she's got anything.
No, I don't think so. I think like you say, we've covered everything. Oh.
Okay, well that's...
I will get my own back on you, Mark.
Oh dear, Mark. Anyway, that's our first attempt at doing these hangouts. Room for improvement, I think, but especially on the technical side. But we'll get better, and happy to do more of these and involve other people in them as well. And we're also going to start doing training webinars on the main DSD Thunder site. So as affiliates, if you've got any ideas of what we should be covering, then let us know. But we'll be looking to do them from next week. And if you want to get involved, then please put your hands up. Not that I can see them, but you know, approach me, and then we can plan things together. But have a good evening. Have a good Easter weekend. Don't pester me over the weekend, because I want to take a weekend off, although I did have the other weekend off as well. But no, seriously, have a good weekend. Don't eat too many Easter eggs. I'm still waiting for mine. So from me, good night, and over to Sandra.
Yeah, and from me, good night. Have a good weekend. And just quickly, if you want us to look at anything, any ads or anything, just let us know, and that's what we're here to help you. So have a good weekend, and thank you.